Hello. Ah, missed it by a minute. Timing was off. Had to okay, I think the form's working now. There we go. Okay, that's more right. Okay, if you entered a form and didn't ask for your email, go enter again. I screwed up the form, so I have a new form for the giveaway, I think. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Are we good? We're good. Cool. How's everyone doing today? It is Tuesday, my dudes. What is this? Oh, that's from that. Yeah. Like, why do I got red? What is that? Oh, that's Bambu parts. How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? It's Tuesday, so we're back on the, did I screw up my audio? No, I remembered. You should be proud of me. I recorded a video this morning and I remembered to put my audio back to the right settings. So my audio should be good. Also, I got some rat boxes down there. So if you see me fall over, that's what I'm tripping on. So yeah, so today we're carrying on with the V2 Gantry / tap upgrade. Apparently this is a series now because there was more work involved than I thought. So yeah, so we're playing with this today. Look at this. Look. So if you follow me on Twitter and want to know what I was freezing my butt off in the garage for an hour machining, look at that. Look at that. So I'm gonna be kind of, how do I word this? I'm gonna be kind of a dick. I'm not gonna talk about this. I'm gonna build it and put it in the machine today, but I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm doing a video on it that was supposed to be Saturday's video, but things happened. So this will be this Saturday's video. So I'm not gonna talk about these, but these are carbon fiber AV motor mounts that I machined. I still gotta put one together so you can watch that, but I'm not gonna dive into them because there's gonna watch Saturday's video. So make sure you subscribe and ring the bell and all the other YouTuber stuff. So I'm hoping they work. I literally just kind of YOLO'd these by the seat of my pants. So I'm hoping they work. I don't see why they wouldn't, but it's kind of a still, there's a chance I screwed something up and basically, yeah. And I only Z negative China twice because the DXF had like a little itty bitty dot that when I controlled A for machine path, it decided, yeah, I'm gonna go twice, and then I didn't realize it the first time, and then I caught it on the second time why it was doing that. So fun times. Fun times. So let me get the manual up here so I know what the heck I'm doing. What about the Z chain mounts on the A drive? Yeah, we're gonna leave. I'm not doing anything with the Z on this machine. We're not doing anything with the Z on this machine. I'm leaving it stock. Basically, the only thing we're doing on this machine is gantry work, and I wanted to see if I can machine parts, because there's a lot of people that ask about machining Voron parts. One, don't waste your money. But the big thing is, I see a lot of these, especially the AliExpress ones, it's subtractive manufacturing, okay? You are taking away stock to make your item, okay? So if you are removing stock to make your item, okay? I said I wasn't gonna talk about these, and here I am talking about them. Okay, which one is it? Is it this one? It's this one. So, if this is what you want to make, okay? If this is what you want to make, okay, you either start with 2 solid blocks of material that are as thick as your thickest point and as big as your biggest point plus stock for fixtures and whatnot, and you machine the whole thing, and you take everything, all this, garbage, all this, garbage, all this, garbage, wasted time, wasted material, wasted tool wear, wasted man hours, garbage. Or you take 2 seconds to use your noggin and you go plate spacers. And these are $1 off AliExpress. So use your noodle for problem solving. Did I print? No, these are the only thing that I machined. Everything else is printed. I printed everything else. I even printed the motor mounts because I didn't know if I ordered a sheet of carbon fiber. I didn't know if it would show up in time, but it did because there were some delays with other things. Somewhere Ivan, I watch Ivan Rand. I watch his stuff, but I haven't like gone back and watched all his earlier stuff, so I'm assuming he likes spacers because I hear people say spacers every time I say spacers or bring up spacers, people bring up Ivan. So I'm assuming he's a big fan of spacers, but I think I missed the beginning of that joke. Yeah, so essentially all I did was make these motor mounts, and for the most part everything's the same. I'm not going to dive into it. Watch the video. Put them on a web store. These took about an hour to machine 2 of them. This plate of carbon fiber, which as you can see, this part's now gone. Okay. So I might be able to do 2 sets of motor mounts. This plate was $50. An hour. So if I did 6 of them or 2 sets, that's 2 hours. So if we're doing 1 set, so $25 of material, an hour of labor, plus I live in Canada, so add $10 to $15 to $20 for shipping, depending on where you are. Plus, you know, I ain't doing it for free, so add profit. You're looking at 25. You're probably looking at like 60 plus for AB motor mounts. And that's not including the hardware. That's just the 2 plates for it to be worth my time. That's the problem. That's the problem. And my CNC is a not guaranteed to be able to run parts after parts after parts after parts after parts. So I'm gonna have to babysit it the whole time. Cutters break, tooling. I didn't even factor in tooling costs, machine wear, machine upkeep. Like it ain't worth it. Send, cut, send, or just, you know, just print the part. This was more can I do it type thing than should you do it type thing. Okay, so we got that. So that is the A drive, which we've done. I gotta do the B drive. Here's the B drive. There we go. Plus, this is the only, like, I've got 2 sheets. I got a 2 mil thick sheet of carbon fiber, and I've got this 3 mil sheet of carbon fiber. I want to use them for drone stuff, so I don't want to waste it. Or not waste it. I don't want to use it on things I don't need. I didn't say it was good, but it's an option for folks. Yeah, if you're in the States, send, cut, send ain't bad. Does it matter for the weight for the part? It's a motor mount, so it doesn't really move. Yeah, it moves in the Z on a V2, but not really. It's not a XY moving. On a 3D printer, usually it's your XY weights you worry about. And I know some people looking into some stuff for that, so okay. So I do have to do a few things. I gotta put spacers. So everyone have a good weekend. I'm hoping I have all the holes. I forgot to I really goofed. In terms of CNC, I really goofed because my setup for all this is just take the sheet of carbon fiber and stick it to the bed and then find my home, XY0, which is lower left corner. And then everything's based off that. And I hit cut. Okay. And yeah, I had a tool crash. And then I had to redo some stuff, obviously. So I ended up just regenerating G code for the stuff I still needed to do. And then guess what I did when I was done? I took it off the bed. Once the final program ran and it was done, I vacuumed up the plate and I took it off the bed. Who could tell me why that was dumb? Ah, congratulations, Hobbit. You got your master's. Harry Phil's Lament is pretty close. I took it off before I verified that I had everything machined, because I just took it off the bed. So what would have happened if I was missing a hole or two? How do I'd have to I would have to basically rewrite an entire custom code to do that an operation due to the hole I missed, which means I would have to reattach the part to the bed and then pick it up. That's the problem. So when you're just machining off a plate, you can just throw it anywhere on the plate and it'll just go, right? It's like printing. But try and tell it to go, okay, go to exactly here on this part that has no sharp corners, and try and pick it all up and do it again. You could do it. I've done it manually on a Bridgeport a million times. You get an edge finder, but a little desktop CNC is a little bit differenter than that kind of setup. So, okay, so this one has big stack on the outside. So, washer. Bearing. Washer. And washer. Bearing. Bearing. Washer. I goofed. You go in there. Okay. Dust management. Yeah. I mentioned this in the video, but basically when it comes to carbon fiber dust is bad. Okay. I accept the potential risk of me being in this room when I'm printing ABS. I try to avoid it, but you know, I live stream, and if I'm on a stream and I'm printing, it happens. Okay. You don't kind of take those risk assessments with carbon fiber. You take precautions. Carbon fiber dust is buku no bueno for you. Wear a mask, wear a respirator, use a vacuum with the right setup. That's the one thing I don't have. I don't have a vacuum that has the properly rated filter for particulate. I have a shop vac that's still sucking everything up, and then what I do is I have my side door of the garage open and it's blowing out into the earth. And I got my front garage door open, so I got a cross breeze going. I don't sit there and do this the entire time it's cutting. I'm literally like a good 5 feet away from it. I'm close enough I can smash the e-stop, but I'm not like upwind of it. And you just try and do what you can to avoid as much as possible. Now, some big brain people have told me to use water on the carbon fiber, and that is a valid thing. You basically submerge it and you cut it underwater. You gotta be careful because, you know, electricity and water, no bueno. But also, that works when it's water, not ice, and it's cold in my garage. So, yeah. Yeah, it's winter. My garage isn't insulated. And it's cold out. So I do what I can for risk mitigation. But you want to do as much as you feel is it. I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. I try to not demonstrate unsafe practices, but you do what you feel you need to do. Put a little IPA in the water. Yeah, true. Like it would evaporate eventually, but colder, it won't evaporate as quickly. There we go. There's your AB motor mounts. I gotta move the thing on this. Now the setup I was using worked pretty good. Like basically when I was done, I took like a rag and wiped down the plate, and there was barely any dust. Like there were little chunks of carbon fiber, like chunks, like bigger than grains of sand, like chunks. That I wasn't worried about. It's the dust, and there really wasn't any dust buildup on anything. So I'm like, okay, this setup kind of works pretty decently, I think. So, what are those white spacers? They are these. ABS 50-piece M3 20mm. And ABS 50-piece M5 10mm. I just went on AliExpress and searched like M3 spacer or something. They're ABS. I was looking for nylon. I couldn't find nylon. Or put it this way, these were $1 each. And when I saw them, I'm like, well, you know, the printed parts are ABS, so the spacers could be ABS. Actually, the original thing I wanted to use was standoffs, like the kind of standoffs you use in like a little FPV quadcopter, like little itty bitty standoffs. The problem is you have to screw them in from each end, whereas these are just pass through. The screw goes right through. So I didn't end up doing that, but yeah, Now, I have no idea if this will actually work. That's the only downside to this. I'm hoping it works. It'd be really nice if this works. Save me some time and material costs. And if I find out it doesn't work, it better not happen this week, okay? I'm okay with this failing in like a couple weeks. But if it fails this week, it's gonna make the video that I'm doing for Saturday suck, because it's like, hey, I did all this work and then in the bin. So what would be nice is it just works, or it fails in a while and then I can use it as a video for a follow-up, or an idea for a follow-up video, which means I get a free video that week. So PCB standoffs. The thing is, you need to mount into the motor, right? You need screws going into the motor. So yeah, you could use, I guess you could. I know I have some. I know I have, oh, here, yeah. I guess you could use like this style of standoff, okay? Where you would basically screw that into your motor. Oh. You would basically screw that into your motor, and then you could put a screw through the top into that. But you would need M5 ones for this. So you would need M5 ones for this, and this doesn't screw in. So you still need a spacer for this. But for these ones, if you had 20 mil, yeah, you could, I guess. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. The motors would be mounted with brass. That would be the only thing. If you had, I'd rather you have steel than brass, because brass is soft and it's a motor mount. I don't know how big of an issue it would be. It's something I've never really tried. So it's on the, if you want to give it a shot, let me know how it works type situation. Okay. Carbon fiber and brass would look cool. Yeah. So. And then what else was there? Oh, apparently carbon fiber doesn't like to get too hot. I don't run my machines too hot. My motors are like literally room temperature. like I can, even after my printers are running for like hours, I can just grab the motor and they're like a little warm. So I'm not super concerned. If it does become an issue, it becomes an issue. Something to bring up in a future video. And then what else? Oh yeah, these are 3 millimeters thick. So I had the little brackets that like hover, like for the clippies. I just made these 2 millimeters thicker to compensate, so everything's still spaced out the same, and I don't need different screws for that. Because here I gotta have to use washers. Is what it is. I don't run my machines too hot. Toasty's an outlier. I mean, the front falls off toasty. What do you expect? So that is that. So now we can put that over here. Bambu. Also, hey, this is, I'm assuming a few of you are here. For the Bambu folks, where do you get replacement bed sensors at? I looked on their site, they don't have them. Is it a COTS item, or do I gotta like contact them because they went and like engineered some stupid one-off piezo sensor for their bed? Because I've got 2 failing bed sensors in this guy. It still kind of works, but like, you know how it can't live adjust Z? Yeah, that's a problem if you're printing something. Because oh yeah, you don't need to live adjust Z. Its first layers are always good. Yeah, no, I'm getting shitty first layers. So I need to replace the bed sensor in that. What model stepper? LDO 42TH or 42STH 48 204 AC. Support time. Because here's the thing. You know what's funny? I have piezo bed sensors because we tried that on Vorons years ago. We had one in each corner. It was like something we were working on in development for a while. So everyone on the team like bought piezo. So I have piezos. We abandoned the idea because they proved to be unreliable in the long term. Okay. So I don't know what they source, but I've got 2 of them failing and it's been like 6 months. So, and I did a quick search. Other people have them failing too. So, because instead of 1 switch in the tool head, you have 3 in the bed that can fail. That's the problem. Don't you have to do the LDO motors differently? No, these were in there before. Having a rough time. I'm bringing up what I believe are valid critiques of a machine that, if improved, will make the machine better. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I printed everything for the I printed the spacers on it this morning. I'm still using the machine. He hates Bambu, but he keeps using it all the time. Oh, that hurt my monkey brain. So, I'm having real world problems. Oh man, I was hoping they were just dream problems. If they were dream problems, I could just, you know, drown them with alcohol. But no, this is actually functional problems that are preventing me from using it. Blob of death on my Prusa Mini. Oh no. I haven't had a blob of death. The fronts have fallen off both these several times, but that happens. Well, okay. You ready? This is, okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. Turn the machine off. Okay. This machine, it has ceased to live. It is dead. I'm gonna turn power on. This is why I critique the Bambu firmware more than other printers, because Bambu did it themselves. Okay, this was something I ran into yesterday. I figured this out yesterday. So Bambu did the firmware themselves, and before no, there is no Clipper code. Yes, there is no Marlin code. It's 100% homegrown. Okay. But for most printers, when you power it up, you can't move it until you do a home. Okay, you can't do it until you do a home. But on a Bambu, you can move it without homing. It'll move 1 unit every time you push the button. Now, a little pop-up that says before movement, please home all axes, but you can ignore it and you can just keep moving it. Same on the X and Y. Yeah. You can just override pretty much no other printer you can't move it without homing. This one you can. I can drive this thing right into the top if I wanted to. But it's odd. That's what I mean. There's because of things like this, I question when it does weird things, because it's obviously their own thing, and they did their own ways with it. So it behaves in ways you wouldn't expect. I can't do live adjust Z. There's no console. Every other interaction way with a printer, you could send it just a G-code command, right? You can't do that with it. Like there's no way to go, you know, G1X this. No, you got to do everything with the screen or the buttons. I can't just tell it to go G1X0Y0. I have to like it's very DJI. Well, I'm not saying it's bad. That's how they do it. It's just, as somebody who's used to being able to do whatever the heck they want with their machine and listening, like, oh no, we don't do that here. So yeah, still on the fence with the P1P. The P1P is a very solid machine. I like the P1P. It is amazing bang for the buck. And I've said it. I hope they prove me wrong, but I don't think Bambu will ever do a machine cheaper than this. It says feature-ish. Okay. So we've got that, we got the motor in. Okay, so now we gotta put this all back together. I gotta do some heat sets. Shit. So we got our XY, or our front things. We don't need these, we don't need these. You want Peter to replace my MK3S. You know what? There are some people that have the beta units now for the Prusa XLs. And if you go on Twitter, Filament Frenzy has one. David has one. I can't remember who else. And those prints look good. Those prints look good. I don't know anything about how long those prints are taking to print, but they're looking pretty good. Okay, so that's a 3-1. So 3. But then again, if you take the time to tune it, any printer prints good. Print quality doesn't mean a printer is special. Where is my heat set? Shoot, where'd I put it? Uh-oh. Ah, gotcha. Did you mill CF plates yourself? Yep, that's what I was doing this morning. I'm gonna do a video on it. It'll be out Saturday, hopefully. Repcord, yeah. Oh, Pooch has one too. Yeah, that's right. Pooch has one. No, I don't have one. As you can see, I wouldn't be able to hide it anywhere. So no, I don't have one. Dorson, thank you for becoming a member. I do have one on pre-order, but I pre-ordered it after pestering during a live stream, which I can't really complain about, like several days after it was announced. So I am not going to be one of the first ones to get one. You'll know when the bill comes in for it. You'll know. David should deliver Nero's. Well, David does have one, but it ain't mine. Melting plastic, not hot enough yet. XL are size, multi-tool head, and consistency and durability over time. That's pretty much it. Like, the XL I view as a very prosumer machine. I don't think it's gonna check the same boxes for a lot of people like the Mark III did, or even the Prusa Mini. It's gonna be it's a machine for people who are more serious about 3D printing, who need a larger format machine that has multi-material capability, not multicolor. AMS, yeah, you can do multi-material, but it's still a single nozzle setup, so you have issues of cross-contamination between like dissolvable and indissolvable filament. With a multi-tool setup, it don't care. You just do a setup for each one. And for the record, I pre-ordered the dually. I want the two-headed one because that's what I want to do with it. I want to use it for multi-material. not multicolor. I've got machines that can do multicolor, and I still don't do multicolor. So I don't need to do something I don't do any better. Any multi-material? I've dabbled with like the dissolvable filaments. The problem is it never works that good. Because every multi-material I've set up so far I've tried. I do have one IDEX. I just don't use it because it's an Artist D Pro. Why would I use that? Like it's just not something I need. So. That's when the hot tub stream will be. So if you want to help support the channel, content I create, and the things I do, links in the description. Consider becoming a channel member or Patreon supporter. Back one. I just realized I didn't put anything on these rails to hold them in place. I hope those carriages don't come flying off. Gonna build a Tridex. I was tempted to, because I got a 350 Trident, and I could easily put that into a Tridex, but I kind of don't want to lose the bed space, because right now that's the machine I have with the most bed space. And if I ever need to print anything big, like when I was doing my Mando armor, this came in super helpful. Yeah, it's only 250 on the Z, but 350 on the XYs. If you know, if I ever do like a 3D printed keyboard or whatever, like this machine, it kind of re-justified itself when I was doing the Mando armor. So I'm like, I kind of don't want to turn into a Tridex anymore. But yeah, Steve built one. So if you want to know about it, go look at Steve's video. He built one. Okay, so got that. Jesus. What? He startled the heck out of me. You want to say hi? Huh?
Hi.
What are you trying to tell me? No, what are you trying to tell Daddy?
No, and I out school.
Huh?
Out school.
No timeouts at school?
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing better, eh? Behaving, staying out of trouble?
Yeah.
Are you learning stuff too?
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want for dinner? You want spaghetti tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, I'll make spaghetti tonight. Okay.
I want to get pizza.
You want pizza? We had pizza on Sunday. You can't have pizza every night. Here, you want a little golf cart?
Of course.
A little golf cart. Okay. Here you go.
What is that? What is that?
Okay, take care, Calvin. What, the rat rig box? Yeah, I got rat rig boxes. I got the V-Core 3 200 down there. Showed up today. So we're probably gonna start that build, by the way, the rat rig build, next week. I might unbox it Friday, because I don't know if I need to print the parts or not. I think it's a full kit, but I'm not 100% sure. So we might be, I might have to print the parts. So I'm not 100% sure though. So that might be, I'm gonna unbox it. I think Friday I gotta unbox it, and then also the winner of the White Elephant, they want me to fix the Hurricane and get it working again. So Friday might be unbox the rat rig and get the Hurricane actually working, so I can send that to them, because they need that printer. EVA 3. I'm assuming it's got EVA 3. I'm hoping it has EVA 3, because I'm not a huge fan of EVA 2. It's got some issues that I don't like. So I don't know. We'll find out when we unbox it. But it is the enclosed one. We are going to build it enclosed. How's it going with the V2 multicolor printing? I don't know. I can't, my first layers are all gone to shit on the machine because I got 2 failing bed sensors, but it works fine. Like the multicolor works fine. That's the one thing I really like about the Bambu. The AMS is a solid thing. As long as you have filament spools that work properly in it. Because it's picky AF when it comes to filament spools. Stock parts are PETG. Okay. Well, where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Like, uh-oh. No, not that one. I have a spool of the green somewhere because they sent it to me. I gotta go looking for it now. I don't know where it's at. How do you lose a spool of filament in a 10 by 10 room? Either way, yeah, it'll show up somewhere. Fabrico sent me a spool of the Rat Rig Green ABS, so by the Rat Rig box. No, it's green though. Fabrico sent me a spool of the, and it's not that one. Somewhere. They sent me a spool of the Rat Rig Green, so. No, that stuff's PLA. So I'm gonna use some washers here. Just space it out. 3DO ASA, I believe so. I was actually really hoping to do it on this machine once we get it back up online, but we'll see how long that takes. So I don't think we're gonna get this printing today. Clear roll. It's not clear. It's somewhere. I had it. I saw it a little while ago, and I obviously haven't used it, so it's somewhere. And I didn't take it out of the room, so. There, try Canbus? Yeah, we got Canbus on the salad fork. I've used it. It's still kind of a pain in the butt. Like, as much as it cleans up wiring, it makes your wiring simpler, but it makes your software side more of a pain in the butt. And for those that have been watching the channel for a while, you know I'm more of a hardware guy. So yeah, it makes one aspect easier, but then it makes another aspect a pain in the butt. So yeah. I'm looking forward to spaghetti tonight. First time I've had carbs in like, well, I had pizza on Sunday, but that don't count. Pizza. Phil R, $5. Cheers. I found the trick to get release from the dev team. I finished assembly and install the mini AB on SF Saturday AM. Nice. Hope it's not ABS spaghetti. Spaghetti! Got your orange LDO Trident frame. Nice. Using PETG for replacement Prusa fan shroud. No, Prusa actually, the Prusa Mark III, all Prusa parts are PETG except for the fan shroud. That's ABS. You want ABS or another high temp material or higher temp material for the fan shroud because it's sitting right next to the hot end. And it's by the hot end all the time. The hot end's hot. So. Okay, so there are some obvious downsides to this. I'm not going to say all of them, but for one, because these are plates, they they don't have the little indexing feature that a lot of these have. Like they don't have the little indexing tab, because it's all machined from one operation. So basically it was either you have grippers for the belt, or you have to machine basically like, I think it's a millimeter of stock off the whole thing, just so you could have that one little detent. So it's doesn't have them. We don't have them. It doesn't have them. It is what it is. I don't know why I have so many M3 ones there, but they shall remain there. And you want it a little loose still, because you're gonna have to like wiggle it around to like line everything up once you put it back in the frame. Greetings from Bavaria. Hello there. Okay, so obviously also you may notice on this, both halves are the same. I don't have the drag chain mount, because that would have been a pain to figure out how to do it. So instead I'm just mounting it like I did before, because again, I was running beta parts before, just right to the extrusion for the Z chain. Okay, so put that in, bibbity bobbity boo. Got those, okay. Got that, cool. It's M3, M5, M3, M5. Okay, cool. So, just so you're aware what to expect, we're not putting tap in it today. I want to do a whole stream dedicated to just tap. So however far we get in the build, once we get to the toolhead stuff, we're stopping. Because then I'll do a dedicated stream to tap, okay? Because I know a lot of people use the streams for tutorial purposes, and it's just a heck of a lot easier if it's got like half of tap is on this stream and half of it, or half a tap's on the end of this stream and half a tap's on the other. Yeah. So that's as far as we're getting. We're getting to tap and we're stopping. Okay. I'm missing M5s. Why am I missing? Okay, well, put some in. Why are these M3s? I'm trying to remember how everything is on this, and it's I think parts, oh yeah, parts came, oh, these came out when I was taking the, make a real tutorial video. I will. I've got two tap kits. So basically there's going to be the stream tap build for two reasons. One, because I like live streaming. That's what I do. And two, that way when I go to do the tutorial videos, I know what I'm doing. So there will be a video on basically the stealth burner. I'll do a video on the stealth burner, the CW2 and tap assembly, because that needs a CW2 too. So that's basically the plan with that. BL touch, yeah, BL touches and Vorons are never a good idea. They don't last long. They tend to melt. Okay, so now I need to get some belt. So we're putting all new Z belts in here. Fancy. Hopefully a meter's long enough. I think it is. Here's an old Z belt, I think. Is that an old Z belt? Yeah, new Z belt, good. Sweet. Okay, so I like to do the bottom belt first. These are M516s. So these are going to be in for temporary because these are going to come right out because you're going to have to take them out, put the belt in. So for now though, these work. Any plan on making a Voron 2 live stream? Yep. I'm printing parts on it. I've got a V00. It's actually V00 number 3, serial number 3. It's still V00. So we're gonna upgrade that to a V02 and then do some mods. I think we're gonna do the belted Z mod in Kirigami along with it. So those are both on the docket for the nearish future. Unless Jason wants to like me to show off an LDO kit and wants to send me one. But I've already got 3 V0s on hand. Okay, that's that. Flush install, so that's flush with the front on both. Notch orientation, the notch goes to the outside of the machine. Okay, put the other side on, and then slot that in. Sweet. That's important, right? Yeah. For a Tri-Zero. I would have to build it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I've said this before. Basically, when it comes to kit builds, for the cost of a kit, I don't need the printer. Put it this way. Any printer builds that I do pretty much in the past year going forward, it's pretty much content for the channel. So basically, I have to be able to justify the cost of the kit in return on investment because this is my job. So basically, if I buy a kit for several hundred to $1,000+ I need to make that back on the streams, which might be able to, but it joys of being a full-time YouTuber. You gotta judge things based on is it worth it at that point. But on the bright side, I get to stream 3 days a week and put out more content for you guys. So there are pros and cons to everything. Where did I put those sticker ones in? Tri-Zero's V0 plus 2 rails, $20 up. Yeah, but don't you need more? You need more motors and everything, and I'd pretty much have to take apart a whole V2 to put it back together at that point. Okay. That, flush. Okay. And then the thing is too, if it's only a V0 with a couple more extrusions, well then I've already built a V0. So pretty much everything would be the same except for those extra little parts. trying to remember what it was. People kept asking me to build something for a while, and it's like, there's no point. I've already pretty much done it, and I can't remember which build that is. There's one specific build, and I can't remember what it was. Nick, thank you for becoming a member. Cheers. Get a Delta. I have a Delta. I've got an FL Sun V400 and a Super Racer. Both are decent machines. I don't print tall stuff, so they kind of sit in the spare bedroom. Good budget printer between the Neptune. I've never used any of the Neptune machines, so I can't really comment on them. I don't like commenting on machines I haven't used personally, or somebody that I directly know and trust has used. So I can't comment on them. But under 300, I think the SV06 is a killer for under $300. It's basically a Prusa Mark III for under $300, which that's roughly what a Prusa Mark III should be. Prusa Mark III is a $500 printer, sold at $1,000, because it can't be sold at $500 and still keep the company afloat. Can I build a new house? If we have any Saudi oil princes in chat that would like to drop a massive donation, maybe I could look into building a new house. But alas, poor Yorick, I have a mortgage. And in today's economy, with an impending recession, as a humble YouTuber with under 50,000 subs, I don't think I'm going to be upgrading the residence anytime soon. Taller. I know that dimensions are, but functionally it's pretty much that, but bigger. Okay, so here we go. There's our, I'm digging this. I'm digging this look. I'm digging that look. Look at that. That carbon fiber is sexy. Now I want to build more quad frames. 3D printed houses, complete waste of time. 3D printed houses have been the future for how many years? How many times do you see, oh, brand new thing, 3D printed house. 3D printing house is a joke, okay? Especially in North America, with how cheap, well, okay, outside of the recent issue with lumber cost because of the pandemic, lumber is cheap, affordable, easy to work with. Have you ever driven by a subdivision where they're like throwing up houses in a day? Like you look and it's like you got 5 houses in the row. The first house, they pour the foundation. The second one, which had the foundation, well, set the day before, they're framing it. On the third house, they've already got the second story on, and on the fourth house, they got the roof on. You got like, you go from a foundation to a fully framed house with a roof on it in 5 days, because you just have teams go down the line building these houses. And then running things through the wall, it's a lot easier when it's wood. Insulating, how are you getting R50? Like the R30? Is it R30 in the walls? Is it standard in Canada? So you got to insulate it. It's a lot easier to do when you got a wood frame house. And then the setup. You need these giant gantry things that you need to put on each lot. The machines are bigger than the house. How are you going to build one house when there's already two houses on a house on each side? Like, I don't think it's scalable at all. Like if you look at all these houses, they're like basically the size of a mini home too. They're not houses. They're little demos. It's a trade show thing. I don't think it's a practical technology at all yet. Like it's just, give me some government funding and let me make a quick little video on it. It's glorified trailers. Basically, I don't see any practical reason to go with that. Like, yeah, maybe in some areas, depending on like material limitations, it kind of makes sense. But for your average suburb home, it makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. Plus, it's concrete, and you got to lay it by layers, which is kind of not good for concrete. I could see them have major cracking issues. I could see delamination issues down the line between the different layers. I could see it crumbling. Like, yeah, template out pre-made walls. Yeah, you can have factories where you build the whole house indoors at a climate controlled facility, and then you just bring it out to a site and you just slap it together. My aunt lives in Nova Scotia. her house is a prefab home. They basically poured a foundation, and then they built her house in like, I think it was 4 pieces in a facility, and then they just drove it out there and dropped it on the foundation in a day and bolted it together, and voila, house. Not doing that with some no slumping concrete. Expanding phone stuff. ICF. I may not look like it sometimes, but I did attend college for a few years, including civil engineering. So one of the classes was on was about like building styles of homes, and one of those building styles is insulated concrete forms. So what they look like is they look like blocks, but they're foam, and then they got like plastic reinforcement just to kind of like hold it together. And you basically just block it all out, you build the walls, and then you fill the middle with concrete. So you get insulation on the outer and the inner, and then on the inner you can use like a hot wire to cut channels through, to run wires and electrical and water and whatnot. You still got the concrete in the middle, and then you also got an insulating layer on the outside. Carbon fiber parts. I machined them myself, and I bought a sheet of carbon fiber, 3mm carbon fiber off Amazon. So the downside with that is it's costly. It ain't cheap. It is not cheap. Of course, this is when I was looking at, this is when I was in college, so like 2007, 2008, if that. So. There we go. Okay. So that goes there. Now I hope I have enough washers for this. I think I'm running low on washers. I can't remember if I have enough for this. So that bearing stack. For these ones, yeah, let me do it. Trying to use all new. Oops, that's not the overhead camera. Here, I'll put this camera over here, so when I accidentally go to it, you can still see what I'm doing. Nathaniel, 40 Pokemon money, I think. Hey Nero, can you summarize the experience running a printer with a Revo versus running with a high flow Hotend? Do you feel any disadvantage on everyday print speeds? Nope, I don't print high flow. The most I run my Hotends at is 15 to 16 millimeters cubed a second, which is usually infill, which I over extrude. So if I under extrude it, I don't notice because I'm still over extruding. I really don't do high flow. I don't. It's not a type of printing I do. So for me, I really like Revo. I think all the benefits of Revo, the ease of use, the less chance of oozing issues, its compactness, it's more efficient. I think all the benefits of it outweigh the hit to speed, because I don't print high speed. All my Vorons, I run 0.4 nozzles, except for LDO one, which is a 0.6, and it's a 0.6 Obsidian. So that's a Revo. So. The designs out there for carbon fiber AB stepper motor mounts. I took the CAD and made DXF files out of it. You can take the sketches and turn them into DXF files in Fusion. Basically, that's how it was done. Bambu parts are a little tight. Were these printed on Bambu? I can't remember. No, these were printed on V2.026, yeah. See, on this one, they have a channel for the wire. We got smart after that, or Max did. Okay, so that is that. And those just go through. Those are just bolts. Sweet. printing Voron parts. Yeah, all the V2.026 build. I'm doing all the parts are printed on a Bambu. They're on the X1 here. Yeah, for Sparta 3D, maybe? They're probably the vendor in Canada I've interacted with the most. So, okay, we got that. So we got that. 22 Thidler. We ain't got no stinking 22 Thidler. 22 Thidler. Problem is, I don't think I have enough washers left for this. I might, let me go digging. Let me go digging, actually. Yeah, I only got these big guys. Yeah, that'll work. Actually, I don't think, I can't remember. I think you don't need the washers anymore. I think we printed them in. Yeah, I think we don't need washers for this anymore. You used to need washers. I can't remember if we changed it to not need washers anymore. It's been a while. Because to do the mod where you don't, I don't like two idlers. I like running smooth idlers. Yeah, you need washers. Shoot. Actually, wait 1 second here. No, because that comes right down to it. Yeah. I think we're okay. Let me check. Let me check. We might be okay. Washers are still needed. That's what I figured. Problem is, I don't know if I have any M5 washers because I dropped like 2. So either I have exactly enough or I'm screwed. 1, 2. Oh. 3. Okay, I need 1 more. Shit. I need 1 more. Because they're not washers, they're like little spacers, right? Cause I got a ton of washers, but I need shims. That's what I need. I need my shims. And I don't know if I have any more. This might work, maybe? One of these days, we're going to do a screw sorting stream. I know I have some. I know I have a ton. The question is where? I mean, I'll be honest, I printed them in the past. Those are M3s. That's M4. What do I have M4s? Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna YOLO it. Make it work. The last washer is always the missing one. Yep. Haha. Steel for. I gotta do that. I've got like 3 or 4 boxes in the other room of the leftovers from builds, and I gotta go through them one of these days and just like take like the bag that's got like 3 M38 screws in it and add them to my kit list. I gotta do that still. So. I don't doubt I have some. It's just the question is where. There we go. Okay. Got that. Okay, so we got that. So the left one now. To the left, to the left. Oh, I'm really short because I need ones for this. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. I'm out of these washers. I gotta go digging now. I forgot I need 2 for this side. Wait. Did I? Oh, god damn it. Put in the wrong hole. Oops. So that goes there. Oh, that goes there. That goes. Does that go in there? Yeah, that goes there. There we go. That's one. That. This goes. Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. Okay. You still have the tackle box? I do. I'm gonna go check right now, actually. That's probably my best bet, isn't it? How do I not have enough bolts? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm reusing all the same hardware and I just changed revision. How did I use all the bolts? And I'm like, I don't know how the old revisions work. There you go, line up. Two bolts on the table, where? Let's check. Where is the tackle box from Finalizing kit? I knew it was around here somewhere, unless I put it in the other room. Did I put it in the other room? Maybe I did. Why is my door locked? Why is my door locked? Let's take a look. Yep, there it is. Over there. Oh yeah, I've got so much random components, like boxes of like 3 parts. Actually, this might be from DFH. Is this from DFH? This is from DFH. Yeah, it's a DFH kit. Does it have M5 spacers? Probably not. No. Got a ton of magnets though. That's good. Okay, it ain't this box. No, that's the panel kit for that. No, those are washers. I got tons of washers, but I got no shims. No, I don't know where it's at. I don't know where it's at. But on the bright side, I found my Prusa stickers. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Yeah, I have no idea where it went. Cool. Found my Prusa stickers though. Okay, so how can I do this? How can I do this? These are not shims. Gotta have shims somewhere. I've gotta have shims somewhere. I've had bags of these at some point. Like, I could go digging on the floor because I know I have them because I dropped them. And I went, oh, this isn't a big issue. I could find them later. Now it's an issue. So I could just use normal washers for now, and I might, and just try and swap them out later once I actually find my shims. It's gotta be somewhere. Yeah, screw it. I'll just use regular washers for now and just sub them out later. Okay, so now I gotta put that in here. I'm gonna lose all those. 1, a 2. Yeah, I use it. I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I like using it a lot. Like when I do the quadcopter stuff, it's nice. But the problem I have with it is it's got no balls. So it's very easy. Like you end up having to screw in the screw half the time anyways. It's got like no balls. So anytime you have to torque anything, it's kind of meh. Like, I've got it. Where'd it go? Right here. Yeah, it's right here. It's got more balls than a WoW stick, that's for sure. WoW stick ain't got nothing. There we go. That works. That'll work. There's enough clearance there. Okay. Got that. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we've already put the middle on. We got some M5, one on each side. So let me grab my thing here with that. Use 2 M5s. So 2 M5s on the top, I got that, and I need 2 M5s on the bottom. Somehow I lost those. One, two. Okay. And then we put that on. M510, M1610. Leave slightly loose. And then M530. Okay. Leave it slightly loosey-goosey. Get in your hole. There we go. So is that M530? And yes, I know I normally use Allen keys. I'm using screwdrivers more now. I'm trying something new this year. PF Dennis gets to 5 community memberships. Cheers. Thanks, Dennis. Okay, so leave everything slightly loose for now. Okay, and then what is that? M510s. Yeah, LTT store screwdriver. I like it. I don't care. Go. Black accents? Nah. I could put red. I still have red. This whole machine has always been boring. Like legit, this machine has always been a boring machine. That's kind of the whole point of V2.026. It's always been my dev machine. So back when I did more testing, like when I was more involved with like testing for Voron and whatnot, any beta part or whatever, V2.026 was the one that got it. So it was always running beta stuff. Like right now, this is the first time production. This is literally the first time like production design stuff has gone on it since it was V2, like 2.0, which was that even ever production? Okay, don't need the spacers anymore. Okay, so we got top back, bottom front, top front, bottom back. Okay. Check your work, and now we need to install the gantry. Ooh. Oh, fancy. Okay. So we flip this over. And we flip this over. And it gets super annoying because I have a stupid standoff hanging. Okay, what do we got here? So we need what size? M316s. Cool, I could do that. Only 16. Those are 10. Somehow I can't see. That's a 16. How do I not have M316? 1, 2. Are they in the other parts? No, I took them out. Okay, if I took you out, where did I put you? Oh my god. There are screws that I have here that are cut down screws, and I remember why they're cut down. It's been that long. Back in the... Oh geez, I want to get this built, but I don't have the screws. I'm just going to cut down screws day, time. It was simpler times back then, okay? Cutting down screws. Yeah, what? Okay, the trick to cutting down screws, it's actually quite easy. What you do is before you cut the screw down, you put on some nuts. You put like 2 nuts on the screw, and then you cut the screw where you need to cut it, and then you take the nuts off. That way when you take the nuts off, it cleans the thread up. Because the worst part of cutting a screw is not cutting the screw, it's just making sure you don't screw up the thread. So what you do is you put some nuts on it beforehand. That way when you take the nuts off, it strains the thread back out. Makes inventory easy. Just order M350 times 1,000 and just cut them to whatever size you need. Okay, on this side, put... Am I looking at this right? It's the back two, right? It's the back two. Go. What parts do we CNC? AB motor mounts. There will be a video on Saturday about it. Okay. Fun fact, V1 and V2 are not version numbers, but the printer model's lines. We renamed the V1 to Trident to address this confusion. People think V0 is the first Voron. Okay. So now we need to put all this together. Yay! Okay. Isn't Legacy the first? Legacy, until V02 came out, Legacy was the most recent, I believe. I think. I'm trying to remember. I think Legacy is technically the most recent, other than V02. Now, Legacy is based on the original design, but V24 is first. No, V1. The VKs, or in terms of serial Voron, the VKs, Voron kits, which are V1.0s that were kits that you could purchase from Max. There was like 18 of them. Me and Steve finally built 19 and 20. Those are the original Vorons, and then the V1, and then the V2, and then I think it was V0 was announced the same time as Switchwire, I believe. I can't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, it's like BMW. It's the V whatever. The V2 in V2 stands for Voron 2. So it's like an ATM machine. It's an automated teller machine. It's a Voron 2. That's why we call them names now. That's why Trident has a name, because it was getting confusing. V0 kind of makes sense because it's a small one. V0, and then V2. I think it's always going to be V2. So there just won't be a V1 anymore. Okay. So we got this flippied upside downy, and I'm still using, I don't care what anyone says, I'm still using 6mm belts on this. What are you doing in here? Hey, hey. What? Come to say hi? You having fun? You doing good, buddy? Hey. Okay. Goodbye. Guys are spoiled. That's 2 doggo today. Although I think he just showed up for like a minute the first time. Okay. So that goes there. I can't remember if it goes in the middle if you're using, I think if you are using 6mm, it's in the middle, or is it the outer? Let me take a look. It doesn't matter because I'm running the big belts in the bottom, so I'm going to put it in the middle. For a while it used to matter, now it don't. Okay. And we are reusing the black because I forgot to print parts, and I don't know. I think black accents are cool in this regard, maybe. I don't know. Plus, these are nice and well worn. Okay, so that's that. Now we do that with all of them. That can go in the garbage. So I'm trying to remember which one gets the end stop is that one. Okay, end stop is that one. Okay. Look at this. I didn't, these cuts line up perfect. I actually eyeballed these ones. That's the right size. That screw box printed? No. They came with like, I can't remember if it was an acro bin or something. I think actually they're meant for the pegboards on the back of that thing. Just line it up. You don't want to line up. Why aren't you lining up? I'm gonna swap that one out. I think we got a bad T-nut here. It's just gonna be a pain to swap out. Yeah, that's chunky. What was I gonna say? The carbon fiber, it's more of a, hey, is this actually a practical thing? Can we do this? Is this actually cool? Than anything. Like, you're not gonna see any real performance difference. You're gonna see any performance difference with this setup versus a more traditional setup. You know, printed parts. But, you know, still gonna be cool. Actually, I'll do this first. that's why. Okay, maybe I can get this to work. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. Thinking there, I might have an issue with the T-nut alignment. The T-nut for here comes really close to the T-nut for here, and I think it's not letting it sit right. That's the issue. So see if we can kind of force it to work. Yeah, there we go. I'm screwing into something. You name from Belgium. Bonjour. There we go. Good enough. That'll do, pig. That'll do. That is way too long. Yeah, CF make it go fast. Yeah. You ain't gonna notice any speed difference at all. Although some people are playing around. If you go with carbon fiber XY joints, which are a thing, I didn't bother with this because I just wanted to do the motor mounts because it's something I could do myself easily, less CAD work. But if you do carbon fiber XY joints, I think it and something with the gantry in the middle, I can't remember what, you can get it to pretty much negate the weight increase from tap, at least on the one axis, not both. Can't remember who was working on that. I should have checked all these to make sure they have their nuts in it. Shit. Okay, this one has it. Because I'm looking, I got an M5 lock nut here, and I'm like, one of these doesn't have their lock nut in it. And that's gonna be a pain in a minute, so I'm gonna have to take one of these off. Shit. $43 green. Dude, there are people that are like, seriously think like, you'd be surprised what people complain about a free open source design printer. Okay, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. And if you don't like it, it's open source. Change it if you want. Okay, that one's got one. Okay, that one's got one. Do they all have one? Then where's that M? Okay. Apparently I got a random M5 lock nut for something. Oh, you know what? I think originally the yeah, they all got their nuts. Okay. I think the motor mounts originally had them. Yeah, Vorons were never designed to be like speed printers. Yes, the Voron is Core XY, which is a fast motion system, but Vorons were never meant to be like speed printers. Like, you know, it's a Core XY is a fast motion system, but also has other advantages. Like, it's a nice compact, especially for a square frame design, less moving mass. It has other benefits other than speed. So if you want speed printing, go to the ones that have like leaf blowers strapped to them. Okay, fun time. Yeah, people were giving Twitter. People were giving Polymaker shit because their cardboard spools don't feed in the AMS well. And Polymaker needs to go out of their way now to make spools that are compatible with the AMS. Bambu, as much as people are talking about it and how hyped it is an extremely small percentage of the market right now. Your average person with 3D printer is still rocking a Creality Ender 3. There's a reason why, you know, E3D came out with the standard flow hot end for the Revo first before high flow, because if you're going to come out with something new in the market, you want to come out with something that most people can use. Okay, Gantry install, helping hand. Let's get some zip ties. Do I have zip ties? I hope I have zip ties. Correction, I hope I have long zip ties for this kind of application. I kind of do. Okay. I don't know how old the zip lock bag is. Okay. So they said, well, here's the thing. Spools, plastic spools are a big waste. So cardboard makes a lot of sense because spools are disposable. Yeah, master spools are cool. The problem is, unless you only print, master spools really only make sense if you're printing the same type of filament continuously. So if you're running like a print farm or something like that, yeah, master spools make sense. But if you're like me, who has like a million open spools because like I need to do one light orange print, and then that spool is going to sit for another 6 months before I need it again. Master spools don't make sense. So at that point, every spool is pretty much a waste. Because I'm not going to unspool and respool a master spool a million times during before I finally use up the filament. Probably should have cleaned this, like vacuumed it up. Oh, an M3 screw. I might need that at some point. But there she is, in the flesh, I guess. V2.026. Yeah. Never put your foam on the frame. Dumb idea. I did it. Don't do it. These all still good. There are parts on here that were printed on a V2.2. Okay, get this all set up. So what you do is you get 2 zip ties, or one really long one if you have them, but what I do is I do 2. And zip them together. Switching to a Chameleon or an ERCFA. Chameleon, go watch the video on Chameleon. If you only plan on doing 4 filaments, and you have a P1P, it's harder on the problem with the X1 is because it's enclosed. Okay, but if you have a P1P and you want 4-color multi-material, don't do the AMS. Do a Chameleon, 3D Chameleon. It's faster, it's cheaper, and you can use it with like a normal spool holder. Because the AMS, you have to use spools in the AMS because they have to ride on the stupid little trolley thing. At least I believe they do. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. But if you just have a P1P, get a 3D Chameleon if you only want to do 4 colors. It's faster, it's cheaper, and it works with more spool types because you just don't use normal spool holders. So it takes up more room because you can't put the spool holders on top. But plus, Bill's a cool guy, so. Okay, so we kind of have to finagle that in, and then we zip tie it up, and then so those are already in, and then we bolt it in. Okay. Whee, flying like a TIE fighter. Yeah. And here comes the part where I get grease all over my long sleeve shirt that I decided to wear today. Shit. Yeah, all the grease. My retirement grease. Okay. So I should be able to just bolt these right in. So what you can do, by the way, where is it? For a pro gamer move here, get yourself some PTFE grease or any other plastic safe lubricant, and these surfaces where it's now a bearing surface, like a pivot point right here, because this is technically a pivot point, just put in a light coat of like some sort of plastic safe lube on it. I don't really know how much it does, but I usually do it. You don't need a lot, just to like wet it. Tell me about the X-Spy motor mounts. Glad you asked. What I recommend is subscribing to the channel and ringing the bell if you haven't. And if you have, just wait till Saturday, because there'll be a video on it. But TLDR, because you are gonna watch, I machined up. I just machined up, because why not? Really think GE5C? Maybe. The thing is, this works just fine. I don't run GE5C mod on any of my V2, well, neither of my V2s. And I don't run a Kinematic bed. They're nice upgrades, and the design is available enough that anyone can really, if they want to do it, they can do it. But in terms of like a base design, I don't think it's really needed. Like I think as is, it works just fine. I don't even know if I'm using the right size bit for these, am I? Yeah, okay, you just screw them in a lot. And then usually what I do for this, I don't go tight, because these move a bit, right? Yeah, you want a little bit of play in them, obviously. So what I do is I go until they still move, but they're stuck. There's no air gap, but they could still kind of rock a bit. And then normally how I set my machine up is when I turn it on the first time, I do a QGL, quad gantry level. I run that like 2 or 3 times. I make sure my gantry is like as level as possible to the bed. And then I go around and tighten all these again. And then I tighten them. And I find that keeps your gantry pretty square. It doesn't decide to go on adventures too often. I gotta use one of these screwdriver. The one downside of the LTT screwdriver is you don't have it's a full-size screwdriver, so it kind of gets in the way sometimes. Did I scale them? No, I just printed them 1-to-1. Really? The only thing you're gonna notice about scaling, okay, so Voron parts are designed with shrinkage in mind. They're not compensated for shrinkage. So what that means is if you have like 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're spaced on center, like 40 millimeters on center, they're still gonna be spaced 40 millimeters. The difference is the size of the hole is gonna be compensated for ABS shrink, because it's not like the whole part shrinks. It's a weird behavior because you're laying it down in sheets. If you're injection molding a part, yes, the whole thing shrinks. But because you're laying the plastic down, yeah, it shrinks, but it shrinks like within layers. It's a whole thing to it. It's not linear, basically. But yeah, no, I just did it 1-to-1. I changed a few hole sizes in the DXFs, just for like, because on the original part, the M5 bolts, they screw into the plastic. Obviously, I can't do that here. I kind of did, but I changed up a few things. Where the hell did you go? There. Yeah, These are way too tight, so I gotta loosen these up. There we go. Can I make an injection molding tutorial? I don't really have the equipment for it. Like, I don't have a 3,000 ton ube press on hand that I could really use. How does Voron tap work? Combination of optical sensor, magnets, gravity. You're using your plant. You're using the whole planet when you're running Voron tap. One of those desktop. The problem is, why would I need an injection molding machine? Injection molding excels when you're doing production or high volume. FDM, so here's the thing. FDM will never replace injection molding. You're not going to be 3D printing car parts en masse. It makes no sense because a 3,000 ton ube press can pump out a front facelift for a Tesla Model X every 90 seconds. And you take that off the machine, you trim the plastic, and you send it right to paint. You will never do that with FDM. FDM will never get to that speed and scalability. However, it costs a decent amount of money to build an injection mold. And it costs a decent amount of money to run said injection mold. You need dedicated press, dedicated operator, material, blah, 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 blah. So if you're doing small volume stuff, it might make more sense to just scale 3D printers. Look at Prusa. Some of the Prusa parts, it probably does make more sense now to do injection molding. I'm sure there are parts that haven't changed in years, and for the volume that they do, it probably would have made sense. However, that's kind of Prusa shtick, but they do injection mold some parts now. But then you got Bambu that has injection molded parts for a machine that has a lower volume. So why does it make sense for them to do it? Well, they're operating out of China, material costs are less, labor costs are less, you can get tools made in China a lot cheaper. Plus, you know, it's nice when you have a bunch of ex-DJI venture capitalist money to throw at the problem. So it really depends about scale and whatnot. How many do you plan on doing? How often do you plan on doing revisions to the part? You can change an injection mold to update for a revision. It's called welding, and you just remachine it. It really depends on what you're doing and what you're trying to get out of the machine. For me, having an injection molding machine, if I got one of the little desktop ones, I would make a video with it, and then it would go collect dust in the corner. Like that's the thing. You don't have a printer farm? It's China. You can get access to a printer farm in China very easily. Where do you think all the printed parts for all these kits, for Voron kits and AliExpress kits? Like, you know, the frame for my drone here came with a bunch of printed parts from AliExpress. There are print farms in China you have access to. So, also, you could do designs with FDM that you cannot do with injection molding. Could you injection mold the mini stealth burner front face? Like, could you injection mold this? Yes, you could. You would need a lot of slides. You would need lifters. You have undercuts. You'd have to redesign the whole part. You need draft angle on everything. You can't have straight vertical walls on them press because when you go to eject the part, you get suction. So you need to put draft angles on everything. So the moment the part pops even a little bit, air can get under it. So like vents, you ain't doing vents like this for air channels and whatnot. Like you would have to redesign so much of just this one part to make it capable for injection molding. Now do that for every part. Like at minimum, you're adding draft angles to everything. So yeah. I didn't scale any of the parts for Hotend 8. Scaling, I think some people really overblow the issue of scaling things. The worst I've ever really had happen with scaling is some of the parts are a little tighter and the screws are a little tighter, I think. So. Printers with multiple gantries. They already exist. It just doesn't make sense for most people. Like you're like IDEX type setups, like what you see, like you can do so much more with a 3D printer. Just look at like a pick and place machine. There are CNCs that are blazing fast. Like there are way more capable ways of doing things. It's just we do things this way in 3D printing mostly because of costs and scalability. Like, let's be honest, okay? The majority of people who get into 3D printing are cheap, okay? The biggest complaint about Voron for the longest time is cost, and I'm sure it still is probably the biggest complaint, is cost. Why does this cost so much? Why does this cost so much? Why does this cost so much? How can what is the cheapest Voron kit I can get? So nobody's gonna go out, very few people are gonna go out and drop, you know, as cool as the Bambu is, it's $1,000 machine. A lot of people aren't gonna drop that. They're just gonna keep buying their Ender 3s, because guess what? For $1,000, I could get 3 Saval SV06s and filament and outperform the Bambu. As fast as the Bambu is, it's still one machine. And that's the slowest 3D printer is a single 3D printer. The fastest 3D printer is many 3D printers. Doesn't matter what brand. So if you only have one machine, yeah, it makes sense to have a faster machine. But if you're kitting out a farm, it makes way more sense to buy a bunch of cheap machines. To an extent. To an extent. People buy Prusas for farm for reliability. You buy a bunch of cheap machines, you have a lot of broken cheap machines. I'm not cheap, I am broke. Ah, true. Oh no, I ripped one of my feet out. I'm gonna fix that. Okay. Oh my god, this is gonna be annoying. Tip, if you're using belts, undo your belts. You know, they come all wound up usually. Undo your belts and let them hang before you go to put stuff together. Because then they're all like curved and it's a pain to run them through everything. Bloody hell, come on. It's like, what's that one motion system, Core XYZ, where you got like motors everywhere? And it's like this weird, like, yeah, you could do it, but why? It makes no sense. Like, other than a trade show thing, it doesn't really make sense as a viable motion system, as a viable, usable machine. The cost to benefits and complexity, it just like loses all purpose. There we go. One. How did you end up over there? Okay. Making a VZ bot. If I get a kit, if the kit shows up, I'll build one. If I don't, no kit, no printer. Yeah, see, like I'm trying to push it through and it's like all bent. .3D printers, even the playing field. For like, if you're doing rapid prototyping or part iteration, like it makes a lot of sense to have a 3D printer so that you can do the iteration process before you go to production. Because stuff ain't cheap in production. Well, per unit cost is cheap in production, but getting set up for production ain't. I can't get this to go through. This is, come on. Now, why are you going that way? Go straight. Tape this on, see if this works. Tape. Yeah, you're out 0.5 millimeter on one corner of the bed. Any idea? Is your bed mounted? Like, check your bed mounts. Make sure everything's set up and flush. There we go. Haha. Like one millimeter, depending on like 0.5 millimeter over how big your bed is, 350 millimeters. Think how much of a difference is over a bed sheet. That might not even be an issue. Like your QGL, run QGL before you run a bed mesh first, but it might not be an issue. I mean, I ran my V Minion with a 1 millimeter bed offset. Like the bed was out 1 millimeter over 180 millimeters. And guess what? It prints just fine. It's just, if I were to happen to print a single cube the size of the bed, one side of the cube would be 1 millimeter shorter than the other. So, you know, if you're worried about like dimensional accuracy of your parts to within a certain reason, it might be something to look into. But if all you do is pick print whatever the mean print of the month is off Reddit, then you're probably not going to notice anything. Dang it. I don't know where that piece of tape went. There you are. Gotcha. I know the camera angles for this part suck. I'm running belt through the Z motors. It's not an exciting thing. And it's more annoying than anything. And I'm crunching a bunch of stuff. Okay, I gotta fix you. Why are you not in? I'm getting hungry. Oh no, that's not good. Oh. On this build, this uses a panel do, because originally this had a duet in it. This had a duet in it for years, and I finally replaced it with a spider last year. But the panel do is clipper compatible, and it's a really nice screen, so I'm still going to use it, because why not? I like it. Where did I buy a screen? On the internet. It's a duet panel do. Just Google it. Probably tons of vendors. Hey man, love the stream. Question: do you think Trident is unpopular Voron or not? No, it's pretty popular. More people are building it now than they used to. The V2 is the big one, right? The V2 is, when you think Voron, it's V2 or V0. But the Trident is a V2. The V2 and the Trident are the same machine. The only difference is the bed moves on that one, the bed doesn't move on this one. Mechanically, they're pretty much the same machine. And depending on what you're trying to do with your machine, the Trident can sometimes make more sense. It really depends on what you're trying to do with your particular build. Okay, that's fixed. Or what you do, you just do what I do and just build all the Vorons, and then you don't have to worry about picking one. If you're thinking of going with the Trident, go with the Trident. The Trident checks more boxes for more people. The V2 is fun with the flying gantry and whatnot, but at the end of the day, they all print pretty much the same. The Trident's a simpler build. It should be, on paper, it's easier to tune, simply for the fact that the gantry is more rigid. Because on this one, you have, like, everything is technically tight, but you do have more chance of motion happening here with this joint because you got your gantry's attached to a rail, right? Even perfect rails have to have some gaps in them for, you know, them to function, otherwise they wouldn't work. But a flying gantry is cool. Aha, gotcha. But basically, if people come up to me like, what Voron should I build? And it's like, if they really don't have a specific use case and they don't know for sure, I usually just say Trident. It's a slightly simpler build. Still got a good machine, but here's the thing. Do you want a tall machine? Do you need to go tall? If you need tall, go V2. V2 scales better in the Z. Trident, I think, scales a little bit better on the XY because it's a more rigid gantry. But for example, that's a 300 millimeter, or correction, that is a 300 by 300 by 280 on the Z V2. And this Trident here is 350 by 350 and only 250 on the Z. So this machine is about 10 millimeters taller than this machine and has 30 millimeters less Z. V2 scales much bigger in the Z, and you got a lower center of gravity. That, you have a higher center of gravity. I'm really hoping I don't pinch any of these wires and break them. Which pi do I have in here? Okay, that's pi 4. See how much quicker it is when they're not all twisted up or curly? There we go. Okay, that is all hunky-dory. Looks good there. Okay, I can flip this up now. Now we can put the belts on. The top, up and over. Okay, I gotta loosen these, right? I gotta loosen this. Do I gotta loosen this? Yeah, these, okay. This is one of the weird beta versions. So here's my upper idlers, by the way. I don't have the idlers. This is like an older design of them. And this is from like 2.2. And I had to keep using them because I cut my Z belts flush. So I lose like 10 millimeters of Z with these, but they still work. So I'm gonna keep using them. We used to call it, there was a revision of this that was all angular because these are all nice and rounded. And when we were going with like the more angular look, they were called like the Cybertrucks for a while. So. LDO is a nice 300. Yeah, LDO did that one special because a spec Trident is only 250 on the Z because it uses integrated Z lead screws. And the spec ones were, how does this work? How does this loosen? The lead screws only come in that size. I gotta loosen all these, so loosen you. Oh man, these things haven't probably been cracked in forever. Get in your hole. There we go. Okay. Now I gotta take those off, so I need a Allen key for this. Blech. I really should find all my Allen keys. I'm missing so many Allen keys right now. They're like everywhere. Okay. Get in your hole. Come on. There we go. So because these are Z belts and they're gonna they're fresh from unwound, pull them as tight as you can, and then take in the little bit extra slack with your idler, and you may have to like retighten them after a day or two. Usually what I do is when I build a machine, I build it all up, I tension all the belts to snug, and then I run the machine for a while, and then I go in and retension everything. So that's one of the reasons I usually don't do all my tuning on a machine after you build it, because it kind of takes time for things to settle, and it'll do that quicker if you use your machine. So usually when I build a machine, I'll run it for like a couple days, even a couple weeks before doing like before doing like my input shaper and all my other tuning, because it kind of takes time for the machine to kind of settle and find its home and get everything kind of set up. So you might have to like let it break itself in, like a break-in period almost. A lot easier to do when you can see what you're doing. Middle. There we go. So that's one side done. Through the hole. There we go. So don't forget, if you haven't had the chance yet, every stream we give away a spool filament from Polymaker, and this stream is no different. And we're coming up near the end of the stream. Got what, 45 minutes left? So if you haven't entered yet, link in the description. Go enter. Because somebody's going to win a spool of Polymaker filament because we give away one every stream. So go do this now. Just full send your printer. Yeah, I've done it. I've done it on stream where we've built a printer and just sent it, and usually it works quite well. I'm surprised how good stock profiles are nowadays on some machines. Go, and last one. There we go. And then also don't forget, there's little notches here in these belt keepers. Make sure the notch is on the outside, because don't cut these flush. What you do that notch is so you can basically come up like this and zip tie the belt to the belt and then cut the excess off. That way you always have a little bit extra, and it makes, if you ever have to rebelt it or rebuild, it just makes it easier. Go. Hey, it didn't fall. Okay, now the fun part. Okay, which one's, this one's loose as shit. Tighten this one. There we go. Okay. So now grab a scale, and what you do is you go around, zoom out, let's see everything I'm about to do. And you're gonna essentially square up your well, not square up, but basically you want to make sure everything's evenly spaced right now. Okay. So yeah, we'll go with 14. So 14. 14. I know it's not perfect. It just makes it easier. You could do this one on your first power up, but I find it's easier to do with the less you have on the machine. And now, de-rack your gantry. So when you move this from the front to the back, it should move smooth. It shouldn't go like nice and smooth. Okay, and then also your spacing. So see right now, when I move it all the way to the front, this side's touching, this side isn't. Don't do the back, because the back, one of these is different, because you have like space. It could be different because you got your end stop has to hit something. Do it off the front. So what you usually do is just kind of have everything loose. There you go. And then you tighten everything up. And then I find it's easier to do mechanical de-racking now, and then after you belt it up, you can do belting, because you can usually get rid of any racking you induce when belting it up by just changing your belt tension. Mechanical racking, I find it's easier to do it just by itself. MK gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers. You change your super slicer default XL. I run, so if you want to know the trick to the SV06, use Prusa slicer and just tell it you have a Mark III. And then all you got to do is change your bed size to, and your print volume in the printer settings to whatever match the SV06, and change your retractions. I think it's like 0.5 or whatever it recommends for the SV06. And then just run it with Prusa settings and it prints beautifully. Yeah, de-rack off the front. Yeah, because you have an end stop. And check it as you go, because when you tighten the screws, sometimes I can kind of throw something out a little bit. Saval is same with, yeah. The front is usually more consistently flat, I find. Okay, tighten my AB motor mounts because I loosen these. For the back gantry here, so move you back here so that we make sure we got room. Snug it up and then. Okay. It's good. We're almost done. I'm starting to get the hunger shakes. The speeds, push it till you, there is no set guideline. Basically, it's whatever you find acceptable. Are you just printing off quick, rapid prototypes that are going to be thrown away pretty much right after they're done? Print them as fast as you want. If you're printing something that you need really high detail, print slow. It depends on your use case, how fast you can print. Print as fast as you find acceptable for the quality, essentially. Or in my case, I tune more towards reliability and dependability. So I don't run my motors hot. I don't run my hot ends. I don't run super fast. I basically just, I'd rather my print finish. So I tune everything for more reliability than. No, these are PTFE. I swapped these to PTFE a little while ago. Whenever I did the upgrade for the Spider, I swapped them to PTFE. But this ran silicone wires as a 2.2 and a 2.4, the same wires, for like 2 years without issue. And when I took them apart, I checked for breaks and they were still good. So now we're in the realm of bad camera angles because I'm doing stuff that you can't really get good camera angles with. Okay, there's that. Okay. So downside is I don't have no fancy drag chain mount, but I didn't have one before either. So I just have it just mounted to the extrusion, and you know what? It works. Now, hopefully I could fit this stupid thing behind the wire. There. Ugh. Okay, so it's funny how many people think this is an issue. So this comes up all the time. Not so much anymore because I think people have gotten a little smarter, but your belts here, your drag chain here, where your wires touch this belt, okay? And so many people think that touching this belt here is an issue. I've seen people do mods to put like a little protector. This side is bad. You don't want it touching this side. But if it touches this side, it moves along with the gantry. They move in relation to each other. So as long as you're not pushing this belt into the other belt and really like cocking it out of the way, it doesn't matter that your wires touch this side of the belt. This side bad, this side doesn't matter. But that comes up a lot for some reason. So that's 1.3. Where's my 1.5? Yeah, it doesn't affect anything. Oh, this is the one I don't have a size for. Shoot. Allen key. Yep. Yes. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Run my X1 in quiet mode. Yeah, I always run mine in quiet whenever I remember to put it. Unfortunately, you can't like tell it to remember the modes, which is really annoying. Like, I guess you could just change the slicer profile, but I usually run mine in quiet mode too, just because, one, I like to be able to sleep at night and not hear it all night, because it's loud as shit. Okay, so you gotta go to the front there. that means you are gonna go right about there. There. Okay. I gotta get a clip here. Oh. There. Okay, and now I need, do I have a spacer? Yeah. That'll work. Which PCB? I'm using the one that came with an LDO kit, which is a 24 volt, but I'm gonna have to protect it, I think. I did a bench test where I just plugged it into a 24 volt power supply, and it no smoke, so I think it's safe, but apparently I shouldn't trust it and should do other things. I've got two. And as far as I'm aware, all the ones that blow up, they just take out the board. They don't actually damage the PC, like your controller. So I might just YOLO it and install it as is. And if it pops, then I'll take safety precautions on the second one. Because it just blows a little resistor or something out. It's not like it's, you know, like blowing up. It just pops a resistor or pops one of the MOSFETs or something. Which, you know, who hasn't popped a MOSFET in their time? Everyone here's popped a MOSFET. So. Trying to remember how I had this zip tied up. I should have taken some pictures before I took this all apart. So I'm like, I think I have some special things because I got weird, like non-standard setups. And I'm like, I think I did some stuff differently, but I can't remember what. Like, how did I zip tie this in? I had this zip tied somehow, and I can't remember how I did it. No, that ain't gonna do anything. Wait, that goes through there. Aha. Yeah, that's how I had it, I think. Yeah, come on. There we go. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm not gonna do anything on the gantry here because I gotta mount all this and whatnot. So I'm just gonna leave that hanging for now. It'll be easier to belt everything up or build the tool head without this on. And I'll belt it up once we put that front carriage on. So I think that's about it for as far as we're gonna get with this right now today. I think. Yeah, cool. You don't know what tap is? Do we have a, basically it is tool heads is tap. What is it under? Is it just under switch wire? Or not switch wire, repositories. Tap, there it is. This is tap. Okay. Yep. Basically, it uses your tool head, your tool head, which is on, now it can move. And when your nozzle touches the bed, it pushes something into an optical sensor and basically triggers, and it basically allows you to use your nozzle to probe, essentially. So they got a whole video here. Carriage, seat magnets, and here it is. So basically, it uses magnets to kind of keep everything in position while you're printing, so you don't have it like bouncing all over the place. And then, but it allows it to bump into your bed still. So the whole tool head moves. So. When is part 3? Probably next Tuesday or Saturday. I don't know yet. Depends. To replace a stealth burner. It's part of stealth burner. Technically, stealth burner is the front face. Okay. So stealth burner is, there's several parts to stealth burner, but this is stealth burner, the front face and the Hotend mount. Okay. That is stealth burner. Okay. Now, what also is part of stealth burner is you have clockwork, which is the extruder, clockwork 2 in this case, but you can use other extruders on the stealth burner front. But there's also the carriage mount, which is just the part that mounts to the carriage. Technically, tap replaces the carriage mount and the inductive probe portion of stealth burner. I don't know, the whole tool head's called stealth burner, but stealth burner is specifically this part. Yeah, it's a little confusing, I know. Like, why do I have 2 more here? It's like, oh, I have these. Is this the right one? No. Is this the right one? No. That would help if I got the right screw. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. I am hungry. I want spaghetti. You know what the worst part is? I gotta finish the stream and then I gotta go cook. And then I can have spaghetti. That's an M2 screw. That's the worst part. Not like I just, you know, go downstairs or go upstairs and eat. It's like, I gotta go upstairs and cook. Jesse! Jesse! What size is this? I don't know what size screw this is. Yeah, whatever. I'll just use one. Screw it. Good enough. It's not like it's doing anything important. It just keeps the belt from moving. There we go. Okay. Do a cooking stream. If anyone knows anyone at HelloFresh, I'll do a HelloFresh sponsorship. I'll do a cooking stream HelloFresh. I average, oh wow, we're doing pretty good. 300 to 500 viewers a live stream, sometimes up to 1,000 apparently. So yeah, I'll do HelloFresh. I don't think you guys would mind. The only thing is, if I do that, you have to like buy them. You actually have to subscribe to them for it to count for me. So just hire a live-in chef with all your YouTube money. Dan Murphy. YouTube doesn't pay as well as you think it does. cook it on the build plate. You could sous vide a steak. I'm pretty sure Tom did a video, or not Tom, Stefan did a video about that. Zombie Hedgehog has, how do you have a HelloFresh sponsorship? How did you get a HelloFresh? That's a thing I've noticed on YouTube. If you're a streamer on YouTube, you do not get the same offers streamers get on Twitch. How do you have a HelloFresh sponsorship? I'd have to clean my kitchen up if it's going to be on camera. Ugh. Or I could just buy one of those inductive plates and do it in here. Twitch hands them out like candy. Yeah, that's the thing. Twitch does that. I think Stream Elements. Oh, by the way, we're done for the build for this portrait stream. We're just gonna hang out for the last 15 minutes. Just if you're wondering why I'm not building. Let me pull up Stream Elements here. I think Stream Elements has something similar where you can like apply for sponsorships from certain companies. Open, none are open. Other. Yeah, I don't see anything. But if I am gonna shill, what I am gonna shill is the Only Benchies store. So are you looking for some awesome 3D printing apparel? Why not get some Only Benchies merch? This hat is awesome. We have Only Benchies merch. We have aprons if you want to crimping ain't easing on your apron. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to check these aprons out. Printer food, dry and ready. We also have, you know, your traditional conspiracy apron for all your tinfoil needs. Mouse pads, mugs, t-shirts, tank tops, you name it. We probably don't have it, but we do have some things, and these are those things. So go check out the Only Benchies store. Exclamation mark, merchant chat. And also, if you want to help support the channel, content create, there's links in the description as well, such as Polymaker. Guess what? You can win a spool of Polymaker filament. I give away one every stream. But if you need more than one spool, and you're not lucky, because I think only one person's won twice now. But if you need more than one spool, or you don't want to wait to win, you can just buy it. There's an affiliate link there. It doesn't cost you anything extra and helps support the channel in the process, along with some other company affiliate links. Where's Thermal Runaway merch? If somebody comes up with a cool design, I'll add it to the. I need to get an Only Benchies Yacht Club shirt. I need to get that made up because the thing we use is kind of, yeah. The sock puppet. I was gonna use my picture that I have of where is it? I gotta find it. I don't know where it's at. Do I have it on this computer? Do I have it on my server? See, I know this is gonna make drama. I wanted to use this, but I don't want to use somebody's face without their permission, so. The R2 single rail on the Gantry X. This is single rail. This is single rail. It's one. It's R. You need the reason we're doing all of this is it had two MGN 9s and I have to swap it to the single so that I could put a tap on it. Because to use tap, you need to use a tool head that it mounts from the front, not from the back. And I was using the one that mounts from the back, so I had to swap it. So yeah, we only got the single MGN 12, and this is the one I actually did a video on how to blue your rail. So I blew this rail. Bambu Labs Easy Bake. So here's the thing. While I may find that funny, while you may find it funny, you know, haha, let's slap an A-net, a piece of tape on it, call it an A-net. That a lot of people don't find that stuff funny. And while I really don't, you know, personally care what other people think of my sense of humor, that leads to a lot of annoying messages. So I'm going to try to avoid that in the future. No promises, but if I think I can make a joke out of something and it doesn't hurt anyone, why not? A company's not a person. Don't stand for them. slanderous or be an issue. Okay, here's the thing. One, I'm not American. Libel laws are different in every country, and it's not as easy to sue somebody for slander in Canada, especially like a company. And two, how do you think the PR would be if you were a 3D printing company and you sued somebody who made a joke or pointed out a potential safety issue? Because, you know, going back to that, I had people saying the only reason I made that retraction video or like, hey, I screwed up, was because lawyers had contacted me. People have very creative imaginations. Things don't work that way. Go through the London court. I am part of the Commonwealth. Canadian corporation is a person. Yeah, but it's not. Like on paper, yeah, but you know what? Nobody cares if you make fun of Coca-Cola. Parody is protected in the US, so is it in Canada. And defamation, you have to prove ill intent and all kinds of other stuff. It ain't worth it. To lawyers. Yeah, you missed. We do a whole stream where we're building, we're having fun, and then you show up for the lawyer talk at the very end. People from Atlanta care. Coca-Cola runs Atlanta. I'm not American, and even I know that. Pretty much had a whole Olympics that was just the Coca-Cola ones because they were there. It was good to make a retraction. You know what the funny part is? You're like, oh, you should have contacted him. When? It was a live stream. And I asked, if you actually look in the stream, I asked, oh shit, what time is it in China? Because it's 12 hours ahead. Or behind. Either way, it's 12 hours opposite. And I'm like I literally like, is there anyone awake right now? Like, I think I have one guy in Texas I can contact, but like, I'd have to go digging for his contact info. So yeah. And then they replied that night in a blog post. I don't think I could have gotten a quicker turnaround. Have you seen the new Polymaker dual silks? I have not. I have not. Oh yeah, the ARF. Yeah, if you haven't had a chance yet, go join the community Discord. Lots of cool people there. And every month we do, if you're a member of the channel or a Patreon supporter, or if you're lucky and somebody gifts you one, we do a hangout stream every month. And there's also a super secret channel that only they have access to. It's secret. Nobody knows about it. 1 second here. Let me pull it up here. Ooh, got a bunch of DMs. 1 second here. Oh, mod requests. Okay. Pull it up here. So I think it's this button. There we go. Cool. So every month we do a community challenge, and this month's challenge is now live. So normally I'm going to try and have it go live the first Friday of the month, and we do the contest, like the actual draw, the last Friday. So you have until February 10th, or correction, that's today, January 27th. Not even today. It's January 10th today. You have until January 27th to enter. So go join the Discord, scroll down there at the bottom. There's a channel called Challenges. There's a section called Challenges. There's discussion where you talk about challenges, and then there's the actual entries channel. So this is it. Basically, I want to see how you're using 3D printing in your hobbies. Okay, not job. I don't know if I clarified that. Not job, hobbies, hobbies. Not job. I want to see hobbies. Okay, this is why I have this right here. Note it. Keep track of this. I will update as we go. This is I changed the rules. Pray I don't change them further. Discord or Disclause. So yeah, so there's like a section, basically 3 parts: print and go, where you just take it off your bed and use it; part of something bigger, where it's like you use it as part of an assembly, or you post-process it, or you paint it, or whatever. And then there's a whole section. So we got 3 categories this time. One of them's all about printer mods that you designed. So if you win, we'll go through all this. We pick finalists. I pick finalists. You pick the winners, and then the winner gets some Only Benchies merch and some Polymaker filament. Considering going to Smurf. I would love to go to Smurf. The problem is Smurf is in England. on the other side of the ocean. And flights ain't cheap. I think last we looked up, it's like $2,000 plus lodging. And that's in I don't know if that was even in Canadian monies. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival, and that's just on the other side of the border. And after a short flight, at least I can fly to Detroit cheap for that one. So. No, you can run tap hot. You can run tap hot. Usually, I think most people run tap at like 180. I think like hot enough that it can squish any plastic out of the way, but not so hot it melts your bed. But we did destructive testing with tap, repeatedly probing the same spot with a ABS hot end, and it puts like a little divot after like a few thousand repetitions. But 150C, okay, 150. But you got to think every time, like unless you have little locators, unless you have locators, every time you put your bed on, it's going to be slightly different. So yeah, you might wear like a little divot in like the four corners, but it's like a little spot. It's not like it dishes the bed out or anything. What do we got? We got 5 minutes left. I am hungry. I gotta make. I hope the hamburger defrosted. I hope the hamburger defrosted. If it didn't defrost, I'm gonna have a bad time. No damage on powder coating. That makes sense. That makes sense. Why not just finish now? Because I said I like to run 3 hours. I like to run 3 hours. Plus, I'm checking Twitter to see if there's anything we could talk about. And plastic base, well, I know you could do that. Normally, I just leave it on the counter. Or put if you need to defrost meat, put it in a metal pan. Like if you got like a stainless steel like pan or whatever, put the meat in the pan because the metal sucks the heat out or the cold out. Yeah. With tap is, here's the thing. Tap is so accurate, you could tell where your screws are in the extrusions, because when you tighten these screws, it slightly deforms your rail in a way that nothing else really picks it up, but tap does. You put a piece of Captain tape, you get a nice, really cool mesh on your bed. It'll pick up Captain tape. It'll pick up the screw variation. And the advantage of tap over other systems, yeah, you can use it inductive probe. I've been using, this toasty ass $3 inductive probe that's been on this machine for years. Guess what? I still got perfect first layers. But the problem with this and the other inductive systems, the beacon probe, which is super fast, those probe the metal. Those probe the metal, not your bed surface. So if you got textured PI on top, or if you like to run a really thick sheet of PI, because remember you got PI, a layer of glue, and then the bed, and you're measuring the bed. What's going on above it? So tap actually measures the actual physical surface. So you can run a glass bed on a Voron now with tap if you want. Like as part of the testing, they actually were putting, they're using granite slabs, like a layout plate on the bed, as the bed to check it. Tap will tell you how unflat your bed really is. BL Touch, I don't use BL Touches. BL Touches I find are not reliable. They're not as repeatable as I like, and they die in heat. And I use Vorons, so. Clicky works really good. Clicky though is a stowable thing. So you have to unstow it every time, and it's a micro switch, right? This is an optical sensor, so it's a little bit more accurate. You're within like one step accuracy, like one micro step accuracy. Like you can't be more accurate than a micro step. BL Touch. I bought my very first Voron had a BL Touch and it never worked right. I never could get it right. Now, granted, I was also running Marlin 1.8, but I could never get it to work right. It never was reliable. I literally end up ripping it off the printer, taking a spare bed mount, bolting it to the frame, drilling a hole, putting a 10-cent KW10 micro switch in there, and then having like a lever on the I basically bolted a spare part as a lever on the bed, and I had more reliable results than the BL Touch. And it was a real BL Touch. It was the Ant Collab one, not the TL Touch or the CL Touch. No, it was actual BL Touch. And I got better results with a bolted 10-cent micro switch with spare parts and drilled and mounted to the frame. I'm consistently having first layer issues with CR Touch on my Ender. First layer is never right. Jared, is it in a consistent pattern? So for example, okay, let's get out the $1 million editing software. So if this is your bed, is it always inconsistent, or do you find you have an area like this area is inconsistent, or it's this area, or it's down the middle? Do you find it's everywhere, and is it repeatable? Is it repeatable inconsistency? It's random. Okay. A common issue, it's simple. It's a Creality product. It's shit. You could try a proper BL Touch, see if that resolves it. But a common issue that happens with Creality machines, and really any V-wheel bed flinger, your extrusions are twisted. When this comes out of a machine, okay, when this comes out of a machine, this is coming out of a die. They go, and it comes out. How straight is that going to be? How straight is this going to be? Who knows? Could be straight, could be not. But it's extruded aluminum. It's just pushed through a die, and what comes out comes out. They don't grind it. They don't it just comes out, and then some guy with a saw goes chop, 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 and you get your parts. So what happens is your extrusion could be twisted, okay? And then what ends up happening, again, let me load up I should probably do a video on this because this comes up often. You've got your tool head, okay? So you've got your tool head, okay? Put that right there. Okay, now on your tool head, you got two things. You got your hot end, okay? And then you have your probe, okay? You got your probe, you got your hot end, okay? So, your hot end has a nozzle, and there it is, okay? And your probe, oh, no, red. And your probe is there, okay. So let's see, right here is your bed. What color am I going to use? Use blue for bed. Okay, here's your bed. Okay. So, right there. Okay, there's your bed. So in a perfect world, when you probe Z0, so whatever you tell your probe to be Z0, it's correct. Z0 is Z0, okay? And it transfers over to your hot end, okay? So you probe, because unless you're using your nozzle as the probe, which TAP does, but most systems don't, there's an offset, okay? There's an offset somewhere, either behind, beside and behind, and front, who knows, okay? But there's always an offset. So what happens in a perfect world, when everything's nice and square, you probe with this, but when you print, you didn't probe where your nozzle is. You probed 30 millimeters behind your nozzle, okay? So if this is all square, this is good. So what happens, I can't, can I rotate percentages with this? Okay, how do you pivot this? How do you rotate in, I don't know if you can in this. Here, let me switch to a more robust, software. Maybe you can't paste. There we go. Okay. So what happens when your precision, super precision extrusion pushed out of a die in China and chopped by some guy with a bandsaw? What happens when it's rotated? Okay. Now, when you come down to probe, your probe, if it's rotated this way, this probe is activating when your nozzle's below the bed, because this is Z0. So when your nozzle's over here, oh, it's below the bed. And what if it's the other way? What if it's the other way? Okay. So now you're probing along because the extrusion's twisted. So as your carriage moves down the extrusion, it does this, or it does this. It twists ever so slightly, and you get an offset. Okay. So you're not probing where your nozzle is. You're probing where the probe is, and you're hoping that they remain on the same Z offset throughout the entire travel of the gantry of your X carriage. So if it twists and turns, this is why you can see it very easily. If like you always have if one straight swath of the bed is always out, you got to twist the gantry. So I'd enjoy the video. I don't do that kind of stuff. You want to know the different things? V wheels are the worst. Rods and bearings are better than that, but you can't support a mid-span, so over long distances they're not great. Rails are the best. Aluminum extrusion is not a precision motion device. So if you build your motion system off aluminum extrusions, they're inherently going to be flawed. So how does it affect linear rails? It can. It's happened. I've seen it happen. The reason we found out about this was in Vorons, because the bed probes were picking it up, and we really noticed it when we were running dual MGN 9s. Okay. Your rail is hardened steel and it's ground. It should be straight. But what can happen is if your extrusion is really twisted, it can pull your rail out of alignment a little bit, and then it'll show up. It doesn't show up as much because you got a hardened stiff rail that's kind of trying to straighten out that extrusion, but it can happen. So the problem is on like something like an ender where the only thing you have is the extrusion. So rails mounted to a precision. Yeah, I think you can get precision extrusions, but they are pricey and they're not worth it. They are not worth it. Well, if you didn't get the chance to enter, I gave you an extra 5 minutes. So let me copy all the names here and do this filament giveaway. I need to find it. I have a twisted extrusion. So I need to find where I put it. I might do a video on that. What I need to do, I've been looking for a clip. If anyone knows a clip of aluminum extrusions being extruded, I need that clip. I need a clip of that. Having some data. Oh, we have data. Oh, are you talking about that? I don't know. There's probably charts on the internet. I'm not going to break down a spreadsheet of why I think something's better than another. Like, it's based on life. Let's just go life experiences. Life experiences. V wheels are consumable. They wear out. Extrusions are not a precision motion system. They're extruded aluminum. How could that be better than rails and rods? Now, rails have downsides. Rods have downsides. Rods, you can't support a mid-span. Rails are probably the most expensive and the heaviest one. Well, actually, no. Rails are a little bit lighter than rods. Depends how big the rod is. They'll have pros and cons. V-wheels are cheap. That's why they're used by enders. They're the cheapest, and you could scale them easy. Just get a longer extrusion and a longer belt. Boom, longer motion system. Speaking of longer, give me a number between 15 and 20. Let's do some big numbers. 15 and 20. V-wheels are consumables. They wear out, and as they wear out, they degrade and you lose accuracy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's roll. Winner will get an email from me after the stream ends. Fill out a form and get your filament in a couple days to a couple weeks. Shout out to Polymaker. Nutty opossum. Nutty Opossum. That's a cool name. There you go. I can never remember, are possums and opossums the same animal? Or are they different? I never remember that. Okay. There we go. We're good there. So we're gonna call it there. I'm tired. I'm starving. Yeah, so this was fun. I'll put some pictures up. Again, I'm gonna be doing a video on these motor mounts that'll be available Friday, or correction, Saturday. It might be available early. It should be available early for members of the channel and Patreon supporters. So if you're a member of the channel or Patreon supporter, join the Discord, and I put the videos out in the super secret channel that you guys only have access to. So I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna go make some spaghetti. So for those that donate to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or what is it? Donate to the channel, became members, or gifted memberships to others. I say that every stream, I think I remember it. I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do and create the content I create without your continued support. You make it all possible. Shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament we give away every stream. Check out them and more, links in the description to help support the channel. And shout out to LDO. You know, I don't think I mentioned it once in the stream, but we are building it with their tap kit. So, which again, there's an issue with the boards. All the boards, the V2.1 boards have an issue. We didn't find out till, you know, hundreds of them were made. Yay. They're getting fixed. We'll be a bit. Okay. That's about it. See you Friday. We'll unbox a rat rig. Sound good? Okay.